So we've covered how to craft a marketing message based on your customer problem statement. But crafting the marketing message is just one of the hurdles that you need to overcome in order to move your customer down the customer life cycle. So ideally, what we want to achieve is to have your audience engage with your message and ultimately become paying customers, essentially coming to the end of the customer life cycle. So here are 5 small things you can do or that you should consider when it comes to crafting your marketing message. And this also involves how you present your message on the different channels. So first, you need to be clear and concise. You only have a few seconds before the viewer decides if it's worth their time to engage with your message. So don't waffle, don't write paragraphs, be clear about your message and say it in as few words as possible. Secondly, you want to write the way that you talk. This might seem obvious, but it's easy to fall into the habit of trying to sound clever. We all tend to be very critical of ourselves and of the content that we create. So we end up being long-winded and writing long-winded and large-worded, highly complex pieces of marketing material that people can't actually relate to. So stick to a conversational style that is in line with your brand voice. Where possible, avoid jargon. And this ties in with point number 2. Remember, we are speaking to customers who are in the reach stage of the customer life cycle. They don't know you, they don't know your brand, and they don't know your product. They only know that they have a problem and they need someone to help them solve it. So you can tell them in detail with as much jargon as you want, and as much jargon as is necessary, how you're going to solve their problem. But this kind of messaging comes later in this customer life cycle. And then you need to have one clear call to action. Now, a call to action or a CTA is very important when it comes to crafting your marketing message. So it helps your customer to know what to do next, and it encourages them to engage with your brand. But giving your customer too many options is also not a great idea. You should ideally choose one call to action, which is either email us, phone us, click, like, send us a message, book your appointment, etc. And you should choose one channel through which you want to do it. So they can phone you, they can email you, or click on a link. When you give your customer too many options, they tend to not engage with your message. And then the last point is start with your strongest point. And this one ties in with the first point that I said about being clear and concise. You only have seconds, if even, to capture your audience's attention. So start with that part of your message that will make your audience stop and pay attention. And this is also an important point to remember due to the different layout constraints across different digital platforms. So you'll see on Instagram, the layout is different because your writing is at the bottom. On Facebook, your writing is at the top. So naturally, you want to start with that part of your message that will make people stop and click on the read more option.